welcome to this edition of WCS Sports Connection. I'm Tate Mathews, filling in for the doctor, Jeremy Qualls, who's on vacation with his family. We've got a very special guest today, Coach Scott Blade, head football coach of Independence High School. Coach, good to see you. It's always a pleasure to have you, and I appreciate you joining us today.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
Well, let me kind of set up the show for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing right now with the Independence Eagles football team in June. Obviously, not a whole lot they can do organized with a ball, but then go on the dead period, and then after that, it's full steam ahead. And usually at Independence, we plan on playing well through November, maybe even into December. So family time right now, I would think, as much as you can. And then when we come back from the dead period, it's full speed ahead. After that, we'll talk a little bit about spring ball with Coach Blade. Obviously, the defending 5A state champions, 15-0, and had a lot of guys to replace, but we're excited about the guys replacing them. And then we're going to have our version of WCS Sports Connection, Football 101. The Independence offense, fast-paced, as many of you know, scored a lot of points last year. So Coach is going to break it down for us. We will be watching it on what's called HUDL, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. It's a system that most of the high schools around here use in the colleges to where they can watch film, break down film, and Coach is going to take us through the first scoring drive of the state championship game. So very excited about that. All right, Coach, let's start off with the Wilcos. Second year of it, great event, really neat to see all the kids dressed up in the tuxes and the coaches as well.
Right.
Team of the year, coach of the year. I know you kind of think of coach of the year kind of as of team of the year as well. But first of all, congratulations to you. You're up there with Will Hester, Barbara Campbell. I thought your speech was great. I thought, and that's what I thought was neat. You could tell you were very proud and humbled to win it, but you were also very respectful of the other two candidates that were up there with you.
Yeah, for sure. It was an honor to be there. Honor for our team to be, go through that experience. And Coach Qualls, he did a great job of setting that thing up, and it was a fun event for us. But yeah, there's, we've been blessed this year. Obviously, it was a first time and the one undefeated team. But Will and Barbara, man, they're fantastic coaches and fantastic programs, and their teams obviously deserve it too. And it was a proud moment for us just to be acknowledged, but realize that we're in, High Cotton over there with some pretty good people as well. So we're honored for us the whole off season. There was a lot of different honors that we got, and we're proud of it. Proud for our program, and proud for hopefully the elite board it gives us into next year and then moving on into the future.
Sure does, and in the public school division you have zones, but you all are selling really a quality product, and for people moving in, they have choices of which part of the county to move into. So, we're so proud of all the schools and all the programs that we've got. But that right there, you never know. Somebody looking to move in here, that's just another piece to where this is what's going on at Independence, and it's an exciting time to be here.
Yeah, exactly. And we do get, a couple, three transfers that move in from the area. If you're it's a little bit, has pockets of a little bit cheaper, more affordable homes. So it really attracts really a unique and a great people. All of Williamson County does. But so we're fortunate. We're fortunate there that it's a growing community. It's a community that's behind its schools. And, we hope that continues.
Let's talk a little bit about spring recruiting, summer recruiting. Landon Guidry commits to Mississippi State.
Yep.
Another SEC commit. There was a time when we would go long periods of time in this county where we didn't have anybody committing to the SEC. I guess this is your fifth now at Independence? Heck, I'm losing track of it.
So it's be my fourth season there. We had 3 SEC guys. We had 4 Division I kids the first year in 13. We had 1 in 14, and then we've had 2 more 1A last year. So that would, and then now we're up to Landon just last Monday committed to Mississippi State. So either Division 1A And then as far as Power 5 or SEC, I believe that's 5 in 3 years. So
pretty neat.
Pretty good, yeah.
Tell us, Landon obviously will be a secondary player there. What are some things that they liked about him, for them to offer him this early and go ahead and sometimes – and we could do a whole nother show on that. Just because they offer, they might not want you to commit right now. They obviously wanted him to commit. That means they think very, very highly of him. What is it about him they like?
His explosiveness. I mean, the young man is where he's got, we call it fast twitch muscle. I mean, he's got the ability to accelerate and explode on contact. What that means is just a burst, an acceleration faster than most people can accelerate, and running, jumping, change of direction. Those are some of the fast twitch qualities he has. He's very strong, very coachable. He's got a lot of experience. And yes, some like him as a safety, some even like him as a corner because he is almost 6'1", 185. He's a big kid for the secondary. For us, he will have a major role on offense. That's kind of what we do. Our secondary and receiver positions, running back, those are kind of interchangeable. They might start on one side. They're probably second team on the other side. And so he'll have a big role offensively for us. I think he'll play some running back. He'll play our slot position. He's just a fantastic athlete that can kind of do it all. So we're excited to have that piece, coming back this year.
Yeah, and that's, again, congratulations to him. That's anytime you go to college to further your athletic career, what a great achievement that is. And then to be able to commit to Mississippi State before your senior year. Congratulations to him. Looking forward to his senior year. All right, let's do this. If we have time at the end, we'll talk spring ball. I want to make sure that we don't run out of time on this. We're going to have, I guess, our own edition or version of Football 101. The Independence offense, as many of you know, if you paid attention since you've been there, we play fast. And we are always on the attack, right?
Yep.
So let's what we're going to do is there's a system called HUDL, and all the high schools in the mid-state really use it just about everywhere. And what it is, I guess it's like a portal where you all have your own account.
Right.
You can put all of your game film on it. You can put your opponent's game film on it, and you can put your practice film on it, correct? Okay.
Correct.
And so everybody from you down to your assistants down to the players can log in from any device and watch it, and it really is neat. It's made it easier for you all to watch film. Obviously, you only have them certain times of the day, and it's really, I would think, made it easier for you to install and put more stuff in. So, first of all, kind of tell us about that. How do you all handle the huddle with the athletes? You can tell who's been watching film and when, and then how much of the install game planning that you all do on that as a team.
Yeah, every kid has an account, so they can watch it at home with their parents. Their parents can see what we're seeing, exactly what we're going off of. We do our trades with the opponents. Saturday morning, we usually finalize the trades, so the kids have access to that over the weekends. We don't, when we look at huddle, when we look at the film, our offense, it is what it is. We had talked about this earlier. It's a multiple spread formations, but really just doubles and trips and then probably a gun split with two backs is probably our mainstay. And then we'll occasionally go into empty. So what I'm saying is we don't change a whole lot. So as we're going through this film, it's not real complicated for us. And the most things we're getting is from from our defensive guys looking at it, trying to get their top 5 run plays, top 5 pass plays. And then from a personal level, if you were playing offensive tackle or something, I want to get to know the defensive end and then that play side linebacker. I want to get to know what are some of his weaknesses, what are some of his tendencies, or whatever. But it is just another way of getting the information out to the kids. This is technology is stuff that they are familiar with. It's not necessarily when we were kids, didn't have obviously this type of technology available, but that's what they understand and that's what they can relate to, and that's what we use. Okay, so let's set the scene. Now here we are, we've got it on Huddle, you've got it pulled up. This is December 4th, 5A state championship game in Cookeville, Independence in the white.
Sevier County Smoky Bears in the purple. You all won the toss, something I believe you did all year long. If you all won, you wanted the ball, right?
Definitely. We want the ball. Our offense sets the tone. And we think if things are going well, we're trying the offense is a fast strike. You'll see us, a lot of times there'll be a deep route concept. Now, it doesn't mean we're always throwing it, but it does have the potential to strike quick and strike often. And offensively, we're looking for 6 to 8 plays to score. And defensively, we want to make them, it's a bend, don't break defense, 12 to 14 plays. Make them try and keep up with us. And it puts a pressure. If you can get a couple of stops early, you can get after them real quick. And now the team's maybe doing stuff they don't want to do. If they're a run team, now they're trying to throw the ball to keep up with you. And that's when sacks happen, turnovers happen. Good stuff in our favor. Or at least they did last year. At least that's the philosophy. But trying what we're doing. So on this first play, we're looking at a 3-3 stack. This is what we saw. You can see 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and a cover 2. Now, if you notice, the hash marks at college are moved in a little bit tighter. That's important to know because that, when I look at, we were talking about earlier, what am I looking at? Number one, the center's always going to have a 5 in the box, or 6. So he's even just going to say 5 or 6. So everybody thinks we're doing a bunch of audibles or this or that. We're not. There's 6 in the box. That means the outside linebackers here are inside the box, 3 down linemen. So that's his call. We're going to put this kid in motion.
The center makes that call?
Center makes a call, just 5 or 6. Put this thing in motion here. You see, all he's going to do here, we brought him down, and we're running a tackle trap, and that receiver is going to block that defensive end. Now it's 5-on-5. So again, why do we call that 5 or 6? Well, we only got 5 to block, and there's 6 in the box. So we bring down the H in this case, motion him down, and he's going to hold up that end a little bit, just long enough to get us moving. Like I said, we're a fast-paced team. We can go as fast as we want. Towards the end of the year, we started to go a little bit slower just to find the matchups. But again, they've kind of switched to a 3-4 here. Why does that matter? It doesn't matter a whole lot to us, really, other than there's 5 in the box. Okay, so this outside linebacker stepped out of the box so he can be a little bit more pass conscious with him. But to back it up, so if it's a pass play, I'm looking at where these safeties are at. And then I'm going to bounce down to where these corners are at. So we got a head up press coverage, and that's Nate Johnson on this side. That's important to know because we want to get him involved early. We want to see how the team's going to play him. And everybody we've scouted all year played him differently. So you can see the difference. This guy is playing a loose cover 2. That means his behind is to the sideline. He's cocked. He's reading number 2 right here. Okay, and this safety is deep. Well, notice the difference. He's deeper than him and his technique. And then you start to move this thing forward. Look at his angle of his back pedal. What does that tell me? Right now on the sideline, I know this. They are doubling Nate all the way. Andrew knows that, the quarterback. So our concepts are all twofold here. So he's not even looking at number 2 in this instance. We've decided we're throwing to the left side of the field, the boundary. Nate's doubled.
So and what is Nate going to do? What's Nate's responsibility?
Nate's going to run him off. We call it a 93. So we're running a 9 on the outside, which is a go route, which is going to pull him, the corner and the safety, and then that means we've got one-on-one coverage with an outside linebacker on our H, Pierre Watkins in this case, and he breaks it off. And a nice 10, 12-yard gain.
I think that's number 8 right there for Sevier County, or number 9. If that route is run correctly and Andrew has time and puts that ball where it's supposed to be and on time, really, really hard to defend that.
It's 10 yards. Yeah, it's a 10-yard out. I mean, it's hard to defend it because it's one-on-one coverage. And the offensive guy knows where he's going. So you better have, so again, we're looking at matchups here. That's an outside linebacker on a slot receiver. This year that'll be Landon playing that slot receiver. Hard to cover him one-on-one.
Right.
So they've kind of, and if you look right pre-snap where his lineman is, we're into the boundary here. You can see we're on the hash mark. Well, he's 3-4 yards to the sideline already. So there's already windows open for me. So we're 1st and 10. They got a penalty for hitting that Pierre out of bounds. We're already, in our mind, we're already in 4-down territory. We would rather take our chances, make them defend us 4 times. Same exact route. So we ran it back to back. Why is that important? Look at the technique he's playing right here. Now he's playing a loose cover too, but they're definitely doubling. And he is bailing, and that safety is bailing right now. So again, he's bailing, which means giving up ground. That's a quick little out, 10-yard play. So again, we're going to take what they give us, and everybody thinks it's real. And they got another penalty or sideline warning there. It looks like a 9-yard gain. So 2nd and 1. Let me go back there. Sorry about that. Here we go. So now we're going to get other people involved too. So they're man-to-man here. What I would have probably liked Andrew to do, this is a 9. We're going to the right side here. So Andrew's not even looking at this left side.
Now, did you call this,
Yes.
or did he see? Okay.
Yes, they're mirrored routes, but I'll tell him, right or left, let's just work on one side. So we're getting that ball out real quick. So he doesn't have to scan the left. It's not open, go to the right. No, it's a high-low concept in this situation. We know this now because of this. I could have seen Andrew throw the 9 here because we're running. He's a press man situation here. His hips are to the sideline. He could have just taken that ball and thrown it up right now on the outside corner. As it is, it's man-to-man here. He's loose, and that's a real fast kid. And trying to get other people involved, it's a nice 7-8 yard gain. Okay, we're down here.
So now, once again, you got 5 in the box.
Yeah, and if you look at the situation here, Andrew could have thrown that 9 right now. He didn't. Yeah, again, it goes up. There's 5 in the box. He's going to say that whether it's run or pass. This is just a fire 91. We have a 9 here, a quick out here.
Now, let me ask you this. Is Andrew seeing this? So, you've got the cornerback rolled up. He's got his tail faced inside,
Yeah.
so he can't see Andrew. We know he's going to run him off. That safety's about 16 yards deep. This out route is
I know it's open.
there all day.
It's there all day. It's there all day. But and honestly, Andrew usually will throw this. He'll throw that, a thing right there, right now.
Wants to hit it on about the 5-yard line.
Because this guy can't cover that. All it is just an outside release play, and it's a foot race to the corner of the end zone. But it's a first series of the state championship game. He's taking the high percentage stuff. He knows he can't cover that, and we're doing pretty good there.
Now we're on the 5. You're getting ready to make the call. As you said, you kind of know you're gonna. You'll decide which side you're going to go to sometimes on the call. 5-yard line. Does it change very much what you all do? Obviously, you're still on the shotgun.
Yeah, it does not. I mean, like we can do anything we want down there. In this case, Andrew was healthy at this time. It's the 15th game of the year. Maybe if it's the 8th game of the year, we didn't do this a whole lot just because he had been banged up. Excuse me. But right now, they're running a cover 0. If you look back here, that means no safeties. Obviously it's a goal line defense. They're blitzing people, bringing everybody in 0 coverage, which means man-to-man with no free safety help. But we still like what we have right here. So this is the first drive. We're running just a little power. It's not something I do. We took our H back. I brought in Landon Guidry right there. So we're going to pull. He's going to fill. He's going to lead up now, and the quarterback is actually going to be the ball carrier.
And so now, really, you have 7.
I got the numbers advantage, and he goes in untouched. So again, I got the numbers advantage. It's a kind of a nice thing. That was the first drive, and you see, it was just trying to create a tempo, a mindset. And if you look at the next drive, I'll go through that pretty quick too, because I think we get out of this pretty quick. It's, right now, see, they're trying to do some things that they're pushing things, maybe doing things that are out of characteristic for them, not really getting any yardage, getting a few penalties, and here we are. They have to punt.
Don't you feel like they felt like they had to?
Yeah,
outscore you?
they had to keep up with us. So if you look at it, we went down. It's play 34 on HUDL. You can see the first thing started at 12. We went down. Boom, boom, boom. I think several completions in a row. I don't even think there was an incompletion. Ran the ball twice, went in untouched. So now they go 2 first downs or whatever, and they kick it. I think it was a short kick or a partial block. We got the ball on this side right there. I can tell you this, the attitude of these guys right now is, let's get 1 first down, and Coach he's not going to punt. So they're already thinking in terms of that.
And if you'll notice, these safeties are, 16, 17 deep.
Safeties are really deep.
And now they've got both corners rolled up, facing tails, their tails facing inside.
Exactly. And here's another thing. These corners are also their starting receivers, and so are these safeties. So they may be able to play press man-to-man right now, but we're putting a tempo on them, plus hitting them when they're on offense. By the second half, they weren't able to do this, and we'd already scored against this as well. So now they've got to put in some of their second-tier guys, because these guys are having to work all game. We've created the tempo. We've established the pace of the game.
So now you're in doubles, right? You got 2 on this side, 2 on this side.
Yeah, and this is a 3-4 defense, which, again, 3 down linemen. Rather than have this guy back in the box or this guy in the box, there's a 2 true outside backers that are playing inside the slot receivers there.
So we don't know the play yet, but obviously over here to the left side of the field,
we
you
like
see
it
that
across
big
the board.
gap. There's a
Yeah.
mismatch problem here.
Across the board, we like it. And we're just going to try and keep them honest with the run game. So it's nothing big. That's just our little trap. We're not checking out of this. We're just trying to keep them honest. And it's like, what, it's 5, 6, 7 yards. It's not that's a bread and butter play. It's easy. Wasn't executed perfectly. But again, we got second and, it's a 5-yard play. 2nd and 5, we're going to run it again. Same play.
Everything moving forward.
Everything's moving forward. And so now we're trying to say, again, it's trying to keep them off balance, knowing we're not afraid to throw every single down. But I'm also not afraid to run every single down. That sounds silly maybe. That sounds, but we want to create the tempo. And
Well,
the
and
pace
I
of
would
the
think
game.
that the way you come out throwing the ball on the first drive, they're on their heels. They're back, and now here we are. Their first thought is retreat, to back up. And now
Right.
here we are hitting them with a quick dive. Daniel Wright, I think one of the most underrated
Right.
running backs in the state last year. Man,
He was terrific.
now they're running it.
Right, and that's what makes that offense so fun. So again, we talked about where we were at when we started the drive. We're now across the 50-yard line. We're 1st and 10 on the 45. These guys know there's no chance Blade's punting right now. It's almost like, let's go get a couple of pound out a first down, just so we can. Now we have a little bit more to play with and a little bit more to risk. But here we are. Now they're going to start blitzing. So what does that do when you blitz? Well, that's fine. We're still, if you watch right here, this outside backer is going to blitz on top, okay, coming from here. Well, that leaves 0 coverage. So he's man-to-man here. Okay, he's got a safety, so we got to find a way to get him this ball. Danny does a good job of stepping up and picking up this blitz, but we got to find a way. Let's see if I don't even remember the play. Let's see if Andrew can recognize it, and sure he does. So they're playing man-to-man on Nate and a loose man on number 2. Well, there you go.
And you mentioned Daniel Wright picking that blitz.
And Daniel picking
2 of them,
that
he
up.
picked up the inside guy, really
Exactly.
took out 2 of them in one play.
Exactly. So, and that's a gap. It's a gap protection that the offensive line and running back were in there. So it kind of worked out. Again, what do you're going to blitz us? Well, now we think we still got some mismatches out there. We've gone over to a trips. Okay, here we go. We're over into a trips formation. First time we've run that. And so now we've been throwing downfield, downfield, downfield. Now we run a screen back into the boundary. So, and you can see why it has the potential to be effective, because the guy's man-to-man on Nate. The outside backer has moved over here at the start of the snap. You can see him running over there. Well, there's no one else into that boundary. You see the guy's got his back turned.
Now, is that a play you knew I'm going to wait about 10, 12 plays, or was that just a field call?
They're all field calls. You know, it's just what we think we're seeing and what we think, you know, we can exploit. And it's not like it was, but there's 2 plays for a first down. So we're definitely have not had a negative play yet. But again, if this is just the second series, we've thrown bubbles, we've run the ball inside, we've run the ball in attack, power. We have yet to go deep. And Nate Johnson, 1,700 plus yards receiver, has not caught the ball yet, has not touched it yet. And the other guys are doing a great job. That's a third big penalty in 2 drives. Our guys, their composure is really at a high level and doing well. Doubles. Now remember, I said we had 6 in the box. So and with a double set, we had to bring in a H or a slot receiver to block them. Well, Andrew's also a running back. So now the 6th man is blocked by the running back. This is our quarterback tackle trap. And it kind of gets bungled up there. But what it also does, even if you don't get yardage there, that's okay. Lets them know we're not afraid to run him too. You know, he's still a running back there. So in essence, we got 4 receivers, really 5, because Daniel's going to catch a couple of touchdowns in this game. But even in this set, I've got potentially 5 receivers, but I've also got potentially 2 running backs in this set as well. So again, it's always about creating the mismatches and creating the numbers game. And here's a nice play here. So this is actually, we don't get this. It's second down, and I'll finish this up in just a second. Okay, but what we saw right here was the way this guy is playing. Look at, and the safety can't get over, so it's man-to-man coverage, but he's given us the out. Okay, we don't execute quite like we want there. It's third down. Have a situation here where we held on to it maybe a little bit too long. His backside receivers right there. Protection broke down at the point of attack. All right. Well, this is important because it's 4th and goal on the 10, and we weren't even thinking about field goal at this point. It's 4th and goal from the 11 really, but going back 2 plays ago, watch his technique, and we just didn't execute it right 2 plays ago. He's going to give us that out, so we're going to roll over to this side, recreate the passing lane.
Touchdown.
Easy game, and just like that, we're up 2 scores.
14-0. Well, Coach, I hope everybody enjoys this. I know I did. I think I learned a lot, and I'm sure they did too. So I appreciate you joining us again. Congratulations on a great year.
Thank you.
We're excited about 2016, and thanks for taking time in your summer to join us.
Appreciate it.
That's it for WCS Sports Connection. We will be back next week. The doctor will be back in the house. Have a great day.